Because when you do say, hey, a transmission is $8,000, you love that. But if it takes a week and you lose $10,000 in work, you're actually losing money from doing the transmission.
So our strategic diagnosis for you, Mike, is the business does not need to just get more leads right now. It needs to convert existing demand into higher value, faster moving, more profitable work while increasing shop throughput.
So what we're looking to do from a high level overview is we're looking to create an offer so good that someone's like, no duh. What components can we put in this offer that are valuable to the customer, but are high margin for me? And so I like to start with the things that are free for you to fulfill. Like you get priority access, you get this fast pass, this fast lane, whatever you want to call it. This takes no extra effort for your team, and it's extremely valuable for your customers. You want this like fast lane pass to be the biggest no-brainer offer because it's going to get you out of a very tight problem.
So we'll just go through this sheet, and we're going to start on the left side with the audit findings. And then the key challenges identified. I'm sure none of these will be a surprise to you.
Right.
But the big thing is, as a business owner, there are kind of like we talked about last time, there are so many fires and so many things that you can be focusing on. Sometimes it can be hard to determine like what is the biggest thing holding your business back, and then what is the number one thing to work on to move the business forward.
Sure.
And so these are the things that we found are your biggest challenges. Okay, so number one, as we talked about last week, shop capacity is the primary bottleneck.
Yep.
So with only 2 lifts, 1 stalled vehicle waiting on parts can take up to 50% of available production space. So you shared that with us as we were looking at like, what can change, what is holding you back. That is like one of the first biggest things, like you said, with your race car, that's holding you back is just not having enough space to be able to bring on more volume. Number 2, your MCA debt is putting pressure on cash flow and creating urgency around pulling revenue forward without taking on more risky debt. Number 3, technician efficiency is limiting billable hours. So the shop estimates it could bill 60 to 100 hours per week, but stronger weeks are currently closer to 30. So,
yep.
And then next one, parts delays are creating workflow drag, especially in larger jobs where vehicles may sit on lifts waiting for additional parts, which brings us back to that capacity part in the number 1 bottleneck. So.
Yeah.
And the next one, the current brand and website does not fully communicate the shop's trust, expertise, racing background, diagnostic quality, or premium repair positioning. Our strategic diagnosis for you, Mike, is the business does not need to just get more leads right now. It needs to convert existing demand into higher value, faster moving, more profitable work while increasing shop throughput. And so a lot of times service-based business owners, we see this with our clients. A lot of times we think, okay, if I can just get more clients, it'll bring in more revenue and it will fix my problem. But a lot of times that can actually just create more chaos. Sometimes we can't fulfill all of that. And you can up to a certain point. But so these levers that we have today for you are going to be changes that you can make without necessarily needing to just get more clients, but instead to increase the value of the clients that you already have. And when you can do that, that's when you're going to be able to really increase your profit while still, keeping, of course, we want to increase your capacity and your lead flow. But we also want to make sure like what your current capacity is doing is bringing in more profit than it is right now. Keaton, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would just say like where you're fully booked out 2 weeks in advance. I mean, I know as a guy whose car is very important to him, when my car is down, I need it fixed that day or the next day. And, I'm willing to pay a premium for that. I will avoid places that, they're like, hey, we can get you in a week. Like, I don't want to work with people like that. And so ideally what we'd like to see is an adjustment in how you're pricing your services to make them more competitive, along with increasing your operational efficiency. So you're getting people in and out faster and providing that service.
So our number 1 lever is increase your capacity without moving buildings. Removing the race car, like done yesterday as far as speed goes. Tighten the current lift layout and install a 3rd lift as soon as financially possible. And yes, this should happen ASAP because the 3rd lift can increase physical production capacity by roughly 50%, which is a huge, huge difference.
Yep.
And then reduce the impact of parts delays tying up one bay.
You talked about these bigger jobs like the transmissions and engine rebuilds. I mean, I think that's where you set yourself apart. It's not going to be in oil changes and things like that. It's going to be these things where trust matters and expertise matters. And at the end of the day, though, if you have a engine rebuild sitting on the lift for 4 days, that shuts your capacity by 50%. And I mean, that's also going to hurt your business margin. So if we can get that 3rd lift operational, and maybe that lift is like the long-term project lift, and then the other 2 are more of the revolving, we're doing your AC repairs and stuff like that, in and out, 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is. And then you just know that you have that dedicated lift for the longer term projects that are paying you more money. Because when you do say, hey, a transmission is $8,000, we love that. But if it takes a week and you lose $10,000 in work, you're actually losing money from doing the transmission.
Right, opportunity cost there, yeah.
Exactly. And so that's an important thing to factor in, and getting that third lift is going to be pretty substantial to that. The flip side of this, if you want to know how much it costs you to park your race car there, it's 50% capacity of your business. So very expensive parking stall for you, my friend.
Yeah, it might be worth it until we sell it to just put it in a storage unit,
Yes.
a couple $100 a month for that instead of 15K. Where's that, right?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2. So use experienced contract PECs for high value jobs. Keenan, you go explain this one.
So think mercenary, Mike. You got a broken transmission, broken engine. Now you have an A player coming on board who presumably can fix that. But you'd mentioned in our last call that a handful of guys that could do the job in 4 hours or whatever, and it's taking your guy days to do it. And so my thought is, why don't you just pay those guys a bunch of money to come do it for you when you have those big jobs? So you just keep them on call. They're not your employees, they're contractors. They come in, you're like, hey, Bob, I got this engine repair. I'll pay you $100 an hour to fix it, whatever it is. It has to be enticing enough for them to actually want to do the work. And then maybe they do it after hours or on the weekends or whatever from their current job. And then that way, that just gives you flex capacity. And then if you don't have the work, you don't have the payroll and overhead costs. And so $8,000 transmission job comes in, you pay $1,000 to the tech or whatever you think is fair. Tech makes a ton of money. They're pretty happy about that. They're contracted work. You don't withhold taxes or whatever. You just pay them out. They do their thing. And then you get the surplus after materials and parts and all that stuff, right? So that right there, I would just think mercenary. I would find the best guys from your network, and I would say, hey, I need some help from time to time. Can you be on my A team list that I call you in, the special forces of mechanics? And when we have high volume periods, you come in and help me fix things. So
I like that.
Yep. And so anytime you get in that position where you're like, okay, we have a lot of work we need to get done, you can have that superpower in your back pocket of like, okay, let's bring in the people. Let's make sure that we're not lagging behind because our techs can't do it fast enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And right now, where your business is in a cash flow constrained position where you just need to make more money, what we want to do is we want to cheat a little bit. We want to get maximum leverage for the least amount of overhead and fixed cost for you. And so like tapping into subcontractor workers, and I'm an expert at this because I took a business from $0 to $6 million a year in 3.5 years through leveraging contractors. And now that we have the foundation stabilized, now we are actually starting to bring some of them in-house and hire some of them. And so that's kind of our next phase of growth within that company. And so you bring in these A players while you build demand. And then that way you don't have to, have this massive outflow going for this A all-star player. And then once you start getting these more frequency of the bigger jobs, then you say, hey, you want to join me full time, dude? And then you get them in, or you just keep using them as mercenaries if that works.
Right. Okay.
And also, especially right now where you have these 3 backup players and then this one that you're going to hire, whoever doesn't work out, say, hey, is this something you're interested in? When we have these high demand weeks, we'll call you in and, you can come in after hours on the weekend, whatever, make extra money. And then you can keep that relationship going with them too. So that way, when you are ready to hire another full-time A player, you already have them, and that you have that relationship. So,
right. Okay.
Yeah. So one thing that, with your MCA debt is you need to be able to pull cash forward right now, so that you can have more leverage and more breathing room within your business. And so we think the best path forward would be to build a fast cash maintenance package. Fast cash meaning fast cash for you. For your customers, it's a maintenance package. So this is a prepaid maintenance package or like a punch pass type thing, where they can pay for, a set of oil changes and whatever, to be able to, like, for them, it's more value for what they're paying for. For you, you are able to pull cash forward so that you can start getting that MCA debt paid off sooner. So the goal is to generate upfront cash so you can have more leverage right now, increase repeat visits, and create a healthier base of predictable customer activity. Because we want you, instead of having a one-time thing from each client or customer, we want you to be able to trust that they're going to keep coming back to you for repairs and for whatever, so that you can have more predictable, repeatable income.
Right. I was just going to ask, so on that's almost like when you go to a dealer and buy a car and they throw in the maintenance package up front.
Yes.
What discount should we be doing on that?
It's a great question. So what we're looking to do, from a high level overview, is we're looking to create an offer so good that someone's like, no duh. So we got the offer and we're going to ask ourselves, what components can we put in this offer that are valuable to the customer, but are high margin for me? And so I like to start with the things that are free for you to fulfill. So I can tell you right now, Mike, one low hanging fruit that you should put in this offer is when you have this VIP card or whatever, the platinum program, whatever you want to call it, like whatever, you get bumped to the front of my line. So if you buy this, if there's a car that's ahead of you that doesn't have this, they're waiting behind you, man. Like you get priority access, you get fast pass, this fast lane, whatever you want to call it. This takes no extra effort for your team, and it's extremely valuable for your customers. And so for me, if you said, hey, Keenan, I can fix your cars next week, or I can fix it today, but I'm charging an extra $500. I'm like, dude, just get my car in. Like, fix the today. That's what I want. And so, but for you, you're going to have to do the same work regardless. It's just maybe you bump somebody that had like a tire rotation or something like that. You just bump them, right?
Yep.
Then there are other things like alignments that don't have any hard costs. It's just labor hours, right? And in that, you also have your like diagnostics, which of course, I don't need to explain to you why diagnostics are good. So you have your diagnostics, you have your oil changes, right? So you do your oil changes for a year. You can do like, I don't know if you have the ability to repair windshield chips and cracks. You can do like unlimited windshield chip repair. So
we outsource those. Yeah, we don't do body work and stuff like that. And then the alignments we do sub out too, because we'd have to have a huge deal here. Or I'm using a quick string, which takes us like 2 hours to set up. Which I mean, if it's one of these, it's like we can make it work. But yeah, I do like the do like a free code scan and then half off actual diag or something like that for them. And then they bought like 3 oil changes for the whole year up front.
Yep. And then so tire rotations, those are different from alignment, right?
Yeah.
Like you can include that tire rotation.
Or on some vehicles they get crisscrossed, but yeah, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
We can do those.
So obviously I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know. I know the frustrations of owning a car, so I can speak to you from that point. But the ideal is you're like, okay, this rush is free, but it's valuable to customers. Alignment, maybe we take that one out because it doesn't work with you. You're gonna you'll know this better than me. Diagnostics, like I don't know how long it takes you to do diagnostic, like the check engine light. I know like AutoZone will do that for free because they're trying to get you in to buy their stuff.
Yeah. So like the initial code scan, we normally charge about $60 for that. So we could do that one free, but then a full diagnostics, I mean, that might take, depending on what it is, may take 5 hours,
Okay.
Yeah.
And some things it takes an hour, right?
Yeah.
And so I think doing like a half off on it, either free code scan. So, if they just wanted us to pull the codes for free, that's fine. And then if we were going to actually do, back probe, smoke test, all that kind of stuff, then we could do like half off on that.
Yeah. Free code scan. I think that's a great one.
And free code scan, dude, that would be one of your advertising offers, in my opinion. So if someone's looking for a mechanic in Google, you're like, hey, free check engine code scan. Because whatever they got, it's urgent, it's going to be expensive, and they're worried about it. Yeah. I'm not worried about getting my oil change, dude. Like, I'm just not like 8,000 miles, 9,000, 12,000. Like, the car's going to run the same. Like, you might disagree as a mechanic, but for me as a consumer, I've never had any problem from delaying an oil change. My cars have always lasted. But when I see that check engine light, I'm like, oh my God, I need the nearest mechanic shop now before my family dies in a fire. Like, this isn't good. And so that's one just little thing I'd carve out is like, if you could do your check engine for free. Wrong marker. So then I would use that as a lead magnet to get new people in the door to build trust with them.
Yeah. And something I will say with a lot of, when you have an offer, the positioning, like the way that you are presenting it to your customers is like one of the biggest, most important things. And so like with this, you in your head, how much this costs, how much, whatever. But when like me, who I don't know cars very well, when I'm looking at it, I don't know what costs what. So like if you say like with the rush, we'll give you priority. You can make up the fee for that. Usually it's $500, $500 value. Yep. And then alignment, whatever, $300. And obviously we won't do alignment, but diagnostics, you said, is diagnostics 60 or is that code?
So just the code scans that maybe we do right now is if someone comes in for just diagnostics, it's a minimum of 1 hour, but if they don't have us do any repairs, then we bill 2 hours. That was to try to keep from wasting a bunch of time and then them taking trying to fix it themselves. Because you get around here.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. But so when you're creating this offer, having the value listed and then the total, like this is how much it costs, but this is how much you're saving by paying for this punch pass or this. Right. Yeah. Yep.
So in this example, Mike, so let's just say the rush order, we're going to value that at 500. I jump you to the front of the line. which is partially why we need capacity in the shop as well, so you can actually make good on that promise. Because if I pay you if I buy this punch pass and I come in and I'm like, Mike, my car's on fire, and you're like, dude, it's gonna be 7 business days. Be like, dude, what?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you have like some reserve capacity for this.
Okay.
So let's just say diagnostics, you put a value of comprehensive diagnostics, $300 or whatever. So say 500, 300, that gets you 800. Your oil changes, I think you said you're like 150 each now with your platinum one. So that's $600 worth. So that gets us up to 1,400 of value. You could do like 10% off any major repair work, 20% off, probably 10%, whatever. So that's a variable price. And then the code scan, and then you get unlimited whatever else you want to add in there. And so you try to add as many services that are low friction, easy for you to execute, but valuable to the consumer. And then you wrap them into a price, and you're like, hey, yours only for $9.99. But you have to act in the next week or 2 weeks.
Right.
And then what you do is you go and you hit up your email list, your existing customers, you call them, you text them, you send out the blasts, and you try to sell this. And what we're looking to do, if you have $60,000 of debt, we're looking to sell, at a minimum 60 of these, because we want to bring the cash in fast. Obviously, you have to keep some of this to provide the service, right? You can't just like blow the money and then when they come, you're like, oh, we're out of oil because bad cash management. But the goal is these high interest rate loans, it's like a noose around your neck. And it's going to be almost impossible for you to grow your business and for you to actually make good money as the owner until those are paid off. And so a playbook like this, you have to be careful because it's like becoming your own credit card, becoming your own bank. You're taking money now in promises for work later, but this will allow you to liquidate some of that debt, get out from under that debt burden that you have. And that will immediately fix the dynamics of your business. Okay. We have a client that he had, it was bad. He had a loan problem. And one day, he didn't disclose all this when we started working with him, by the way. But one day he came to me and he called me and said, hey, Keenan, just curious, how do you make $250,000 today? And I'm like, oh, dude, today? And I was like, tell me more. He's like, so I don't have enough money for payroll. And I'm like, buddy, like, you're in trouble. And he told us he has 7 debt positions on his business. So he has this core lender, the one under them, one under them, 7 layers deep of debt.
Yeah.
And his business, it's unsalvageable at this point because his debt load is so great that he could 2x, 3x his revenue and he still couldn't get out from under the debt. So it's like, buddy, you're done. Like, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but mathematically, you cannot make this work. So
right.
we want to stop future debt. We want to pay down what you've got. Yep. And this is a very good way to do that.
Okay.
And while Keenan's doing that, I want to add something we see with our clients is, we go through these audits and it's like, yes, this makes sense. I love it. It's exciting. And then you go back again to putting out fires and there's just so much on your plate. And so a lot of times they will, if they are wanting to execute this on their own, sometimes it's kind of a half-assed effort because they just have a lot on their plate.
Yes.
And when it's a partial effort, then you see partial results. And so the big thing really is making sure that you are prioritizing these things for your business so that you can see like the full results, really being able to help move your business forward and get out of that chokehold the MCA debt has on you. So.
And the nice thing about this play, Mike, is, presumably we're going to be getting new customers all the time. And so there's always going to be people that you can present this to. And once that debt is paid off, that excess cash, a lot of that's going to drop straight to the bottom line, right into your pocket. Mm-hmm. And so right now we view this as a way to pay off this crippling debt. But once the debt's paid off, you can keep running this play. And I would recommend it, whether it's quarterly, every 6 months, whatever works for you. Probably quarterly would be my first recommendation. And then this will compound over time to the point that's like, hey, half my owner's salary comes from these fast cash plays.
Keenan, with that, would you not recommend like anytime they have a new customer, like his people are trained on selling that, or like are you suggesting quarterly?
Well, you need to do all of it. You sell it at every opportunity. When you have a new customer, you have signage in there. Hey, are you on our fast pass program? You're not, like lane program, whatever you want to call it. You're not on it. Want me to tell you about it before you send your car back? Because I think this will help you. It's like, first off, you get priority scheduling. So there's 3 cars out there ahead of yours. Only one of them is a fast pass lane. So or a fast pass member. So if you get the fast pass today, you jump ahead of those other 2 and, we'll be able to get you in today, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And also we're going to include your 4 oil changes, which does a few things. It gives the customer peace of mind. Like they get a slightly, you can work in a better deal on this. On the oil change for them, but also it commits them to working with you for the foreseeable future, at least until the oil changes are up, which means a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike, do you have any questions or concerns or anything?
No, I think so when we present it to a new customer, we should probably give if it's hey, we only offer this quarterly or semi-annually, but you have an opportunity to add in when you're on your first visit type of thing as an incentive to.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Another thing you can do, Mike, as well, this just came to my mind is you could do like an enhanced warranty with this as well. So
Yeah.
like, hey, like normally we warranty our work for 10,000 miles. Like it's, you have to, you as the mechanic will know this better than I will. I don't know if like warrantying a transmission for 20,000, that if it blows up again, that we'll do all the work for free as long as it hasn't been 20,000. Like you'll know that better.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that automobile like dealerships, there's a reason they have the finance and insurance and warranty department. That's their main profit center. It's because it works and they've done the math and they know that on average, like sure, you might guarantee, like you might guarantee 10 transmissions, maybe one blows up and you have to do all the work again for free, but the 9 didn't.
Yeah.
You made money off of all of them. So this comes down to a math equation that you could probably solve using AI and things like that. So
yeah, no, I already have some data on it, and we normally do a 12,000 mile warranty on transmissions. If I talked to my friend who actually runs part of the Dodge dealer, he said that they do 36-month, part and labor warranty. So we could bump that up to that in this category, and it actually wouldn't cost me anything, because if it did blow up, they're going to pay us the labor to go in and replace it.
Yeah. So I would recommend that as well. You want this like fast lane pass to be the biggest no-brainer offer, because it's going to get you out of a very tight problem. So
yeah.
Okay. So next one, reposition marketing around high-value trust-based work. Use the website and ads to position animals around high-value repairs and trust. Mike's mechanic background, racing experience, family story, and commitment to quality parts should demonstrate why the stop is not the cheapest option, but the right option for customers who want the job done correctly.
So are we kind of thinking that we redo the website?
Yeah. So let's go through this real quick, and I'm going to go through this in a very practical thing. Now, in full transparency, our goal behind the Profit Audit is to give you these strategies and help you see why that's the path forward, knowing that a lot of our clients will be like, hell yeah, this is great. I want to pay you to execute it. Now, granted, I know you probably don't have the resources available to invest to work with us now. That's okay. So we're going to give this plan to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I want to say is don't get overwhelmed by all the information. So the number one thing, move your race car out, get the lift. You do that, and I'll consider our work here a success.
Yeah.
All you got to do, move the race car out, get the new lift, right? But if you go here, it's interesting because you talk about expert auto repair. And like, if you're going to specialize in European cars, like you have a Mazda here, and you only have the same Mazda on every picture. And it's not even like a good picture of the Mazda. Like this right here kind of makes eyes bleed a little bit. So what I would do is we want to tell your story of what makes you different. Now, one of the hardest things to be in business is a Me Too company, where it's like, someone's like, I do oil changes. And you're like, me too. I fix AC. Me too. And so you want to use your rich history in the mechanic space and racing. You're like, hey, my name is Mike. Not only have I been I'm a second generation mechanic. I've been a mechanic for how many years, Mike?
I mean, since I was a teenager, I've been doing it.
I was a teenager, man. I was walking around with a bottle and a pipe wrench. Like that's how long I've had this space. Like my dad's a mechanic. Like not only that, but I also race cars. So I understand the importance of having a reliable car that your safety and your family's safety depends on. I want to introduce you to my team here at this is what we do. This is why we're different. We're not trying to be the cheapest. We're trying to be the ones that you can trust to make sure that your car's in working order, your family's safe. We're honest. We're doing the job right the first time, so you don't have to keep coming back over and over. Your time's too valuable to spend your life in the mechanic shop. As much as we'd love to hang out with you, we try to keep you in here as infrequently as we can. Blah blah blah. You record yourself saying that. I would probably do it in your shop.
Yep.
Around a car, and I would put that right there on the front of your website, because that's what's going to build trust. This image, I actually think, probably erodes trust. I think if you drive traffic to this, I think they're going to see this, but like, this guy probably doesn't know what he's doing. It's probably one-man band, like maybe a couple people. But if you have a video that is showing, and you can do this with an iPhone or Android, whatever you have, have one of your buddies come and record you saying it. You can use ChatGPT to help you write the script. And of course, I just kind of gave you a rough elevator pitch, and we record these meetings, so we can even give you the transcript of what I just said, and you can use that as a baseline, put into ChatGPT, said, hey, I like this, what Keenan said, but I don't like this, put this in my voice, whatever.
Sure.
And then you can just memorize the script, read it off, make it authentic. It doesn't have to be super flashy. You just want to build trust. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
that would be a highest leverage suggestion for the website.
And I would add, Mike, I know when it comes to like videos and photos and stuff, sometimes it's easy to get caught up in like it has to be perfect and professional and whatever. I don't even worry about that. Don't worry about paying anyone to film it. Like just like Keenan said, pull out your iPhone or whatever phone and just film it that way. And it will do, I think, a lot more than having this photo.
Yep. And then you can do a couple of these for the different services you offer. So next time you get a blown transmission, dude, I want you out there in your mechanics get up with your logo on it. And I want you to be like, hey, we had a customer that came in, blown transmission, rough day for them. Just when life, when life can't get any worse because your car's in shambles and you need someone to trust, they came to us. Here's why. Look at us like doing this thing to fix this transmission, making sure it's done right. Like, I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know all the language, but you just want to build trust, friendliness, credibility, and approachability with your brand. And then you put it right there on the website. Same with the images, right? While you're next to the transmission, get a picture of the transmission. While you're rebuilding the engine, get a picture rebuilding the engine. And then you're going to put those pictures on the website instead of the generic Mazda.
I'm sure your guys probably won't want a photo, but just get them to smile and just have a photo of your guys in their suits, working on a car or whatever, just so people can see like there's real people here. They look nice. They look like they're going to help me.
Yeah.
So.
And then, there's like, this is very like SEO driven. And I know you mentioned you hired someone to pay SEO. Like this is what happens when someone hires someone to pay SEO.
Yeah.
Is with a website that's optimized for Google, not for the user. And so, like Expert Auto Repair Service in Crossville, Tennessee, like that's okay. It's not like the worst headline ever. But it doesn't really appeal or build credibility right off the get-go, right? And so it's like from, high performance race car mechanic to protecting your keeping your family safe on the road, something like that. Like, so there's kind of quite a bit to this. And once again, I don't want to overwhelm you, but I just want you to kind of shift how you're thinking about this to this is how you're going to build trust. And when you build trust through the website, your ad campaigns will convert better. Any effort you do towards sending more people in here will be magnified. Then, you can add your, hey, have a check engine light come in. We'll take a look at it for free for, whatever. For limited time, first 5 customers of the month, first 10, whatever it is, like I would put those offers on there. And I think that'd make all the difference for you. So there's just a lot of text here. My guess is probably nobody's reading it. Your about page doesn't have anything about you or your background. I guess it does say a little bit about legendary tracks, but I don't know what any of this is. Mm-hmm. And so spell it out so your average customer will understand it. So you can tell me, our NA Miata endurance team. I'm like, I don't know what that is, man. But if you're just like, hey, like we built our careers around racing performance cars that have to run perfect every time. And we take that same approach when working on your family's car.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it has to run perfect because your family, the most important thing that you have is you're the cargo in this car. And if you have some who knows who working on your car, that's a problem, dude. Like, if it's replacing your windshield wipers or changing your oil, that's probably fine. But if it's rebuilding your engine, you don't want to have your engine going out on interstate whatever's by your house. It looks like, are you the one editing or maintaining your website?
So that was you actually nailed it. We did hire an SEO company and they made a lot of changes to that, use that photo and kind of did all that. And so we've since stopped working with them probably since this year. Because we didn't really see an impact with it, and I wasn't really a fan of it all. And so what I did, the only thing that I did is on the service tab, on all the text below that and I actually I wanted to reorganize it, but I kind of ran out of time. If you scroll down even more, mainly, next section where, this is all just for Google right here. We did that, but everything else was the SEO company.
Yeah. So you can find a lot of web developers like on Fiverr. Wix actually might, I think it's on Wix, right?
Wix.
Yeah. They might have a good enough AI tool right now that you can just be like, hey, AI, take this content and create a better site design for me. Like, I don't know the logistics of Wix. I haven't used it in a decade. But at the very least, you can go to like ChatGPT and you can say, hey, once again, upload the transcript of this call. That's part of why we record it. And say, hey, given what Keenan said, can you revamp my homepage? Here's the current content. Take into mind what Keenan said and give me a visual design layout for our new homepage. Mm-hmm. Then ChatGPT spits it out. You're like, hey, no, dum-dum, this is really ugly. Like, do this different. Hey, he said a video. You didn't put a video. Like, put that video. Change this text, change that. And you'll get something that you like. And then you can go to somewhere like Fiverr and you can look up Fiverr.com. It's just, I'm not endorsed by them or anything, but cheap labor. And you can find someone from the Philippines or whatever that charges $10 an hour for web design work. And you can say, hey, turn my Wix website into these ChatGPT screenshots. And then that way you don't have to do it. You don't have to worry about it. Your time's better served for focusing on the bottlenecks of your company. And then you can have, a better website that is more tailored towards building credibility and telling your brand story.
Right.
Something I will add, Mike. So as I was looking through at your competitors, I was surprised to see how many repair shops don't even have websites listed on, it takes you to their Facebook page. So like the fact that you have a website is already like what's it called, an arm up or a foot in the door, whatever. Like this is already like even better than what your competitors are doing, or maybe they're not even your competitors, just other repair shops. And again, like this isn't something that you necessarily have to put like tons and tons of money into, and I wouldn't at this point because of like where things are at. There are other priorities, but if you can just make a few of these tweaks with the website, we do think that it will instill more trust in people who are looking for a mechanic who will do it right and do good quality work.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because I was going on a rant the other day because I intermittently I'll do audits on it and see where we rank and all that stuff for different search categories. And you know, there's some other ones that, like you said, don't even have the website, don't even have a Facebook, but somehow they rank higher and the reviews aren't any better. So I'm like, okay, Google, what is the problem? You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this? And I don't have the answer for that yet, other than somebody at Google just programs something different. I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's a game, dude. It's a game. But another thing I wanted to kind of touch on along with the brand is you made a comment, several comments actually, when we met last time. One of the ones you said that you were doing the cheap oil changes in town and you were attracting the wrong people. Things like a $50 oil change, right?
Yeah.
I would actually, instead of advertising we're the cheapest oil change in town, I'd say we're the most expensive oil change in town. And here's why that should matter to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you have an 18-year-old that's been working on cars for their whole 3-month career at Jiffy Lube, crawling under your car, diagnosing problems, fixing things, and your family safety depends on that car, it's rough. And that's why here at Animal Speed Works, like we have, like, we don't have, you know, some junior level tech or whatever. Like we have a qualified certified tech that you can trust. And when we do the oil change, we also do ABC, you know, we check your filters, we do this, we do that, whatever it is. We use the high quality oil. We're not using the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
But I would be like, you know, if you want the cheapest guy in town, I recommend, you know, Jiffy Lube, blah, 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 Walmart, you know, whatever you feel comfortable saying. Maybe it's best not to recommend a competitor. I don't know. But if you want the person that you can trust that's going to do it right and it's going to take care of your automobile and understand the importance of getting you safely back on the road as soon as possible, we're the team you want to go to. We'll probably charge you like $20 more, $30 more than our competitors. But at the end of the day, like, is that worth it to you to get the job done right?
Right.
Trust. And then that pricing difference just goes straight to your pocket, dude. Like the coolest thing about raising your prices on stuff like that and maintaining a premium position is if it costs you, say, $50 to do an oil change and you charge $100, you make $50 profit. If you charge $150, the costs don't go up. So that now you make $100 profit. You just doubled your profit from that one thing just by charging an extra $50.
Yeah.
Right. Like if a transmission job is $8,000, and how much profit would you make on a transmission job?
4. It's a 50% roughly.
So if you increase your prices by an extra 20%, that's going from $8,000 to $10,000, but it's adding 50%. So that's only, what would that be? 25% increase, but it's adding 50% to your profit.
Mm-hmm.
And subtle tweaks like that to your business model and to your pricing structure can completely change your business.
Okay.
Well, and I'll say, I want to point out, like, Keenan, because I know, you know, when as business owners, when we hear people who are like, raise your prices, it's like, okay, yeah, that's a great idea, but am I going to lose customers or am I going to whatever? And so Keenan, like him suggesting that is not coming from a place of just like telling you like, this is what you should do with your business. He has experience in this where his businesses they've sold significantly higher than their competitors. And it's easy to go to the cheap people. And like he said, it did make all the difference. And now he, you know, has businesses that are doing 500,000 a month. And, you know, like he profits 6 figures a month. And so, yeah, those little changes like that really do make all the difference.
Yeah.
And I know last time you compared your prices to the car dealership that's like an hour away. So, dude, if someone's car is broken, they don't want to go an hour. Like I had a mechanic that he was my favorite mechanic, dude. The guy treated me well. He was nice. He's funny, cool guy. I felt really close. Went to him for years. I moved 30 minutes away, never saw the guy again.
Yeah.
Like, I was always like, oh, dude, I got to get back to this guy. But it's like, I got a flat tire. Like, I'm not going to like put a spare on to get to this mechanic. I'm going to go to, you know, ABC mechanic down the road from me. It's right there. And it's crazy because as much loyalty as I have to that mechanic and I sent friends there and everything, as soon as I moved away, that mechanic wasn't even in the picture. So it had enough, like the price comparison. I mean, it's hard. It's like, are you really going to take your broken car an hour away to the dealership anyways? Like you could charge the dealership prices and they're not going to be like, I'll just go to the dealership because it's the dealership. They're going to be like, I'm not going there anyways because it's 2 hours of travel in a broken vehicle. Does that make sense? So just be very careful about who you're comparing yourself to. I would price based on the value you provide and the value that you communicate to the marketplace, not necessarily what your competitors are charging. Because being there's the old adage that there is an advantage to being the lowest cost, but there's never an advantage of being the second cheapest. But there's always an advantage to being the highest price.
Yeah. The other thing I learned the other day is, so even the domestic ones here in our town, they're not working on vehicles 12 years older.
Wow.
So that if you've got a 13-year-old car, they're not going to work on it. And so now it's just independents that'll do it, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that may be something you want to look into, and also maybe not. Maybe if you have a 13-year car and the transmission goes bye-bye, maybe you're like, well, it's been nice knowing you. See you, dude. And maybe you just don't have the profitability in that older automobile segment either. So those are all things you have to model mathematically and see.
Yeah.
So this audit, each of these 4 points, these levers that you can work on, I have built them out. There's an individual page for each one that kind of goes more into detail. These extra pages. So I will email this over to you so that you can have more a detailed roadmap that you can follow. But real quick, Keenan, go back to the audit page. So we built these out in order from what we would say is the most important to, I mean, not the least important, but lower on the list. So number 1, like increasing your capacity, that should come before figuring out the website stuff. And so I would just say, like, just start with number 1 and move down the list as you can, get through these bottlenecks.
Okay.
We have about 7 minutes left on the call. Mike, do you have concerns? Do you have questions? Do you have doubts? Like, tell us where you're at with this.
I mean, no, all of this makes sense. I appreciate it. And I mean, it feels like stuff we can definitely accomplish. Like I said, we're already working on number 1 now, so that's great. So would you say, like, completely handle one full section at a time, or once we're 80% with number 1, then we move to the next? What would you say there?
So I would say, I mean, it kind of depends. Like, number 1, it's like, today, can you get number 1 done today? Can you find a storage place and just get that moved immediately? But I mean, as far as, like, I would say start working on 1. And also, I don't know, I'd say start building out your maintenance package, work on those.
Yeah.
And then as you move through those, then add on the website and marketing stuff as well.
Yeah.
But,
kind of correlate with each other, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Keenan, do you have anything to add to that?
No. Yeah. I mean, like Hope said, one can be done today. 2 can be done today. You can just send a text message to your best mechanic friends that you know. You mentioned you had several of them that are really good. Say, hey, would you be willing to let me hire you out, like part-time contracted gig, whenever we have capacity? Just keep a roster of who's willing to work with you.
Yep.
And then that's done. Next time you're over capacity, you just text someone up, hey, can I have you come in and do this work for me? We got this project. My tech can't quite handle it. Can you do it?
Yeah.
So that's another one that's like really easy to do, that you can knock that out today, honestly.
And with pricing, you can tell them, it depends on the job, but if you're open to it, then I'll let you know when the job comes up and we can discuss how much I can pay you for that job.
Yeah.
But yeah, those, I think, like, don't let yourself get stuck in, like, things have to be perfect. Like, try to just, and you see, I'd say that because I'm a perfectionist. Keenan's like, get it done. And I'm like, but wait, I have to build it out and figure it out. But yeah, just work on, like, execution, get it done. And then you can refine as you go.
Okay.
Awesome. What do you think about the 2X profit audit, Mike?
It's probably the most useful, best laid out information we've gotten. We've done quite a few other meetings like this, but yeah, that's been spot on with what I think what we need to do. Kind of some of the things that have been bouncing around in the back of my head, like, how do we deal with this? How do we do it? And so you've given us a lot of good info on that.
Awesome. That's what we're here for, dude. Who else do you know that runs a service-based business that we could help out?